Well, while it wasn't in my plan and I don't really have time for it, I was commissioned to do a little bit of a dark colored wood for a cigar ashtray. So that's what this video is going to be. I need to get it done by Christmas. That shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to use a piece of Blackjack Oak. So let's get on with it. So check this out. This oak is spalted and a little bit wormy. I've got a mark here for my big chuck jaws. Okay, that's flat enough. I haven't blown any of the edges up, so we're good. So that's relatively flat. Now I can continue to make this mortise. Okay, I've got it turned around and in the chuck. Now what I want to do is flatten the bottom here. This will be the bottom of the ashtray. This is the top. I'm going to come down to roughly right there. I only want it to be about that thick. So I'll bring that up to about there. Just give me a line to work with here. But I do want to leave this somewhat square. So now I'll start working on the bottom. Blackjack Oak is hard and the stuff coming off of there is hurting. That is going to be pretty. I'm going to make one more pass down in here. I'm not going to come up anymore. I like it just like that. I'm down to this mark here. I need to do some finessing with my scraper. Up. I need to fill that. I'm thinking about filling that one too. I'm going to mix up some 5-minute epoxy with some shavings in it, and I'm going to fill these cracks. So when I get that done, I'll come back. Okay, I think this is set long enough. Let's see. Need to fill that air pocket. I'll do that and come back. Okay, that doesn't look too bad at all. It's almost ready to sand. I need to cut the mortise in the bottom. That should be good enough if I don't get real carried away. sand this up. Okay, that's 600. Okay, I've applied some Mylan's sanding sealer to this. Looks pretty good. I'll sand this back with, I'll probably sand this back with 320, 400, and 600, just because I just wanted to seal the grain. Because I just wanted to seal the grain, and it did that, and it gives me an idea what it's going to look like. Now I'll turn it around, and we'll start working on the top. I've decided I'm going to make this square. What that means is I'm going to make this distance the same all the way around. So I need to, and I'll do that over on the table saw, but first I need to get this out of the middle here because it sticks up too high. That ought to be good enough. So let me get that squared up and I'll come back. Now I want to start turning this, but I want to leave the lip, but I want to take this down some. So I drew me a rough mark to start. I don't want it any thinner than that. That's pretty much where I want it. Let me switch views so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see this flow joins this flow. Looking right over here. So it's a continuous thing. And that's what I wanted, and that's what I have. So now I can start hollowing the inside. I'll round the outside of this off a little bit, and I'll ease these edges some. But I'm gonna put my grooves for where the cigar rests on this long corner. And when I'm ready to start moving some material in here, I'll come back. I don't want this to be real thin, so I'm going to leave the walls about that thick. That's as deep as I want to go, and I blew something out here, and I don't know what it was or where it went. Dang it! I know what it was, I don't know where it went, and I don't know why it blew out. If I can't find it, I'll just trim this down some, but it'll be okay. I don't want to go any deeper than this. I'm going to come back in a minute, and I'll take this out on the inside, and I'll do some smoothing up in here. I need to prep something. I'm going to turn a piece of Corian, about 3 or 4 inches wide. It'll be about 1/4 of an inch thick, and I'll have it epoxied into the bottom. So I'll cut a recess for it. Cigar smokers don't typically tamp their cigars out, they just let them go out. So I'm not worried about them tamping cigars or cigarettes out in this thing. But just to try to clean up the bottom a little bit and make it prettier, I'm going to put a piece of Corian in it. I think. We'll see. When I'm ready to move on, I'll come back. Okay, I've got a core box bit in here. It's not a big enough groove. It's not a big enough bit to make the groove the size I want, so I'll have to flush it out. But I have my spindle locked, and I'm going to cut this in on both sides. Then I'll rotate it 90 degrees and do the other two. I'm only going to put 4 slots in it. And now I'll finish the shaping by hand. Now I need to take this down and get set up to finish turning the inside. So I've decided to carve these out with my Dremel. I think that'll work. And now let's get back to taking this out. The inside of this. Okay, now I want to gently take this lip down a little bit. That is perfect. It just needs to be a tad deeper. That'll do. I just need to smooth that up. But before I do that, I need to fill this. I'm going to fill this with black epoxy like I did on the outside. And then I will come back in here and I will smooth this up. And this is ready for sand. Okay, I've got it epoxied. I'm going to fill one more crack and then I'll come back. Okay, I filled the cracks. Time to sand this up. So basically I'm going to go about it like this. So I'm going to be doing this for a while. I'm going to sand it up to 600 and then we will turn it around and I will refinish the bottom. I decided I'm going to finish this with an oil-based poly gloss, and so now it's time to apply some Axe first step. It's a mixture of pure tung oil and beeswax. I'm basically using it as a sanding sealer. This piece has 2 bullet holes put there. They're not empty, so this will soak it in the seal as well. You can see how pretty this Blackjack Oak is. The smoking is really cool. And the figure in it is just really nice. I like it a lot. And yes, it's food safe, so I feel safe applying it with my hand. This will be my preferred finish of choice for any food safe items that I make. So I'll come back in 20 minutes and I will buff this up. Let's buff this up. Basically all you have to do is rub off all the excess. So now we'll get it turned around and we'll finish the bottom. I've got it held as good as I can. I'm going to keep this in place, otherwise this thing is going to pop off. So I'm going to start with 120 and I'm pretty much just going to sand it by hand as we go around. So that's what it's going to look like. I'm going to take it back through 600. And when I get that done, I'll come back. Time for some first step, first step, 2 step, 3 step, whatever. The figure in this oak, you've got quarter sawn fleck over here because of how it came out of the tree, and you've got quarter sawn fleck over here. It's just really cool. Okay, I'll set my timer. We'll come back in 20 minutes and buff it up. And then I'll let it sit overnight and we will spray the finish tomorrow. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. Let's see if we can buff this up some without knocking it out of the chuck. Now I can go glue the insert in. Well, I've got the Corian epoxied in now, so I will let this dry overnight, and tomorrow I'll engrave my logo in the bottom. This got really thin, by the way, but it's alright. The 1/8 inch Corian will make up for it. So here it is, all done. I think it looks pretty good. It's got a satin finish on it, which is what she wanted. You can see from the profile it looks kind of like an emerging bowl. The grooves cut for the cigars to lay at the corners. All in all, I'm very happy with it. Got my logo engraved in the bottom with the wood species and the month it was done. I'll try to get this out as quick as I can. Again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, as always. I'll try to get another video out soon. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I got commissioned to do another cigar bowl. I may do this one a little bit different. We'll see. It just depends. I say cigar bowl, cigar ashtray. He wanted a lighter colored wood because he wants something engraved in the bottom. So we'll see how that goes. I may film that one. I may not. It just depends. I've got to see what kind of stock I've got to be able to put it together. I still need to finish working on my urchins. I want to get those done and out of the way. The craft season for that is come and gone, but and it's getting a little bit late to be able to sell them. But if I have them, then I'll have them. But I got some things that I want to try, some things I need to redo, and some things I need to finish, like my UFO bowl that I've been working on off and on for a year. So I'll try to have something out really soon. Y'all come back.